They were busy all weekend long doing the play-by-play for the Mo Valley tournament. Brendan Weesey joins us. Good morning, Brendan.
Good morning, McGraw. How are you?
Did you have as much fun as it sounded you were having?
Yeah, it was awesome. What a great event they put on every single year, and just to get to call those games, it was a blast. There's nothing better than doing basketball play-by-play.
Now, I don't know how much experience you had before this, but I got to tell you, you and Jimmy Hewer sounded. I couldn't tell if I was listening to you guys or Joe Buck do a basketball game.
Oh wow, too kind, too kind. No, I mean I haven't done basketball play-by-play for a couple of years, but it's it's sort of just like riding a bike. You get back on and let her rip. It was a tremendous event, and to see the way it all ended yesterday with two fan bases in the house for both Wichita State and for Illinois State, McGraw, two teams that were battling for that automatic NCAA tournament bid. It really kind of gets the juices flowing. It's what it's all about this time of year.
How are the crowds at the Scott Trade Center?
I think they were a little smaller, and I think we can attribute that to some of the other teams just having down years up until this point. Obviously, Illinois State and Wichita State brought big crowds, but I think a program like Northern Iowa McGraw that won this event the last 2 years leading up to this season, they had a down season. SIU Carbondale still kind of on the way back up. Missouri State sort of had a disappointing year heading in. So I think that it might have affected it slightly, but again, still big crowds yesterday and loud crowds. I think that's all you can ask for when the event tips off.
Well, you guys did a great job, so you should be commended. I mean, people don't realize how hard it is to do play-by-play and to do what'd you end up doing? 4 games, 5 games, 6 games each? I mean, that was.
Well, yeah, I did 4. Jimmy did 5. He did the championship yesterday. And McGraw, credit to our great analysts from the Missouri Valley and their television network, Rich Zavosik and Kevin Lehman. What a pleasure working with those two gentlemen, two real pros. It made it real easy for Jimmy and myself to get this thing done because those two guys, again, it's great when you have working with professionals that do this thing all the time. Made it real easy for us.
How do I know the name Jim Lehman? How's that name? Kevin Lehman. Where do I hear that name from?
He was actually a coach. I guess it might have been when you were up, and he coached at Nebraska Omaha.
He did. He was the UNO coach, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I thought I knew that name. All right, good. All right, now let's talk. Over the weekend, while you were busy enjoying the Missouri Valley, Kim Anderson, I guess, was told he will not be coming back. Not that big of a surprise, not that big of a shock, but still kind of sad when somebody loses his job. But I not that I'm making a habit of defending a Missouri basketball, but the poor guy didn't really have a chance. I mean, he took over that program and just couldn't sort of get out from under the mess that he inherited.
Inherited from Frank Hayes. Yeah, it was a barren wasteland when he got there. I guess the problem is, McGraw, when you hit year number 3 and there has been no progress whatsoever. In fact, he'll finish with a worse record than he did last year. That's a problem.
Right.
The fact that there's absolutely no progress. The team, he did not. I mean, McGraw, he did not win a road game. That's unbelievable. As bad as the situation was when he got there, he did not win a single road game as head coach. The recruiting was flat, and the team just, quite frankly, wasn't very good. But you said it. It's hard for anybody. You can't cheer this. You can't be happy about this because Kim Anderson is a good man. This was his dream job going back to his days as an assistant under Norm Stewart. So to have this opportunity and it not work out, if you're a Mizzou fan in any way, shape, or form, it is a sad day, and it's a sad time to look back and see how far this basketball program has fallen. And that's sort of what Jim Sturk, the athletic director, said yesterday, McGraw, that, you know what, the interest in our program has fallen way too much. We have to do something, and now it's time to find the next coach.
No, I get that, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been fired. I mean, at some point you have to go in a different direction, but it was almost like, you know the way a recruiting goes, right? The other two coaches sit with a player in the living room and say, you don't want to go to a Mizzou. They're under NCAA probations. They're going to lose scholarships. You're going to get lost down there, and all of a sudden they were using all that against him, so he couldn't recruit. And it was hard for him to get players when you're going up against all of that negativity.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I would not have been upset if somehow Jim Sturk decided, you know what, we're going to give Kim Anderson one more year.
Right.
There's a lot of uncertainty. You know, McGraw, there's this potential. Well, it's not a potential. There's an NCAA investigation going on about possible academic fraud.
Right, with that tutor.
Yes, and there's more reports this weekend that she's already met with the investigators, and now she's asking for money to turn the evidence over and offer the evidence that there was absolutely academic fraud going on. That's a problem. And McGraw, if there's a legit coach out there, and a lot of people, I mean, after the win yesterday, again, people are asking maybe Greg Marshall at Wichita State. Come on. Why would Greg Marshall leave a situation like that to come to Mizzou with possible sanctions down the line? That's going to be a potential stumbling block to get any legit coach to Columbia over the next couple of weeks.
No, it's a valid point. Who are you going to get? And Kim Anderson was he is a straight and narrow right guy. He's not going to do anything wrong. He's going to shepherd through the bad, sort of flush it out and sort of start again. You're right. Who is going to take a job where you've got this woman who is going to sell the evidence of the academic fraud where she was taking tests for her students and cheating and everything else? So it's a bad scene. All right, Brendan Weesey, back to the grind tonight, 6:30 here on the Big 550 KTRS. But great job to you and Jimmy over the weekend, and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir. Sounds like I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Oh, yeah, you're in for Jimmy Holder next week, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Brendan Weesey, ladies and gentlemen, who started off as a lowly intern on the radio show, now the expert analysis of Brendan Weesey here on the Big 550 KTRS. All right, stay right there. Greg Willard is going to be along. He was on the deck of the USS Gerald Ford with President Trump last week. And the miracle at St. Joseph 150 years ago, a story you should know.